Yes.
So, I'm looking at chat here. Rio says hi, by the way. I don't know if you know a Rio, but he says hi.
Hi, Ria.
So, but he reminded me. So, as we move into the discussion section, if you have any questions for us, if you got any questions for Fia, we'll try to answer at least one or two of them before we proper end this podcast. And for those that are sticking around once the podcast ends, we will be live streaming. Uh, well, we try to go at least till 8. What time is it now? It is, yeah. There'll probably be some extra live stream time for people. So, again, if you're not keeping in touch with us on YouTube and or Discord, come check that out because the live stream goes private the moment we are done with it. If you missed out on the live stream, you missed out. It's not going back online. You only see the podcast, of course, gets uploaded along with all the clips from it. But if you want all the live stream stuff, you get a little bit before the podcast, you get a little bit after. Come check it out. But anyway, we're gonna move into the discussion section. But for those who are typing in chat, having fun there, if you have any questions for Fia, for us, reach out, put some questions in, and we'll see if we can get to you. So now the discussion section. So again, Jay kind of mentioned we don't have a lot of time. We have roughly 10 minutes to talk about what is the future of VR entertainment, which is like a ridiculously huge topic. How do we even touch on that?
10 minutes, go, right?
Yeah, 10 minutes. I know. I'm like, oh man. But but before I hop into it, does anyone have like anything in particular they gotta touch on?
I think mostly we made this question because Fia's here. I think
have
we should
lots
definitely
of things I could touch on.
definitely let her go off a little bit and see where it takes us.
Yeah, Fia, what do you think?
Well, I have so many thoughts, and obviously, like you said, there's tons of different directions that you could take this question. But I think what makes me so interested in it is definitely kind of with my show, right? Is the virtual reality show, and you know, the catch is I talk about any and all things related to like virtual reality inside of virtual reality. And you know, a lot of people, I think the reason that I've had so much success with my show this far because you know, I've had it for less than 6 months and I'm at 30,000 subscribers, which is kind of like kind of, you know,
Right.
that's pretty crazy growth. And I think the reason that I'm seeing that is because I'm doing something in VR entertainment that people haven't necessarily seen before. And I'm realizing that as more and more people get their hands on headsets, they're getting more interested in VR entertainment. And well, what is VR entertainment? What does that mean? Well, you know, it means something different to a lot of people, and what it currently is gaming, right? It's either a social experience or a gaming experience. But what I'm really, really excited about seeing is the kind of real world entertainment that we have, like going to the movies or you know, watching a TV show or all of these kind of different experiences that you could get IRL, like, you know, watching someone perform or a play or anything, and taking those real life experiences and then making it so that anybody can experience this in any way virtually. So all you need is to have a headset and you can kind of have any of these real life experiences without, you know, leaving home. And the coolest part about that is that you actually get this full customization over what's going on because if you know, if you go to the movies, well, you have to have like a budget for like, you know, doing all these different things on the show, getting the big screen set up and, you know, you if you have to own a movie
Mhm.
theater, you know, there's all these different things you have to do. You have a play, you have to do it, make it fit within the confines of a theater. Well, in virtual reality, you have that complete customizability and control to make anything you want happen. And that's what makes me so excited is because I can see all of these endless possibilities of entertainment and interaction that we don't have when you're like staring in front of a screen versus being able to be immersed in something. And that's what makes me really excited. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts that bounce off of that.
Oh yeah, but as you said, the time. I mean, the thing is, it's the thing that keeps bothering me about virtual reality as a whole is people keep thinking it's only gaming. And I'm not going to talk too much crap because this is a VR gaming podcast. But there is so much more that VR can do beyond this. Just as you've said, you could have a play that has unlimited potential of what you could actually accomplish in it. You can have every experience already in VR chat even. I mean, you can go hang out on a rooftop in a city and watch movies. Not the current movies that are out that are pirated or anything, but movies. There's everything. And virtual reality is so much more than just gaming that I get a little frustrated. People just put it in that box all the time and think, oh, it's just for nerdy gamers. They don't know yet. They're going to try it and they're going to change their minds. it's the future is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not to say that there's going to be some hard problems getting there. The problem with VR is that there's such a high barrier to entry to get into all of this amazing content. It's sort of like saying, everyone space is great. Everyone should try going to space at some point.
Mm-hmm.
There, it costs a lot of money. There's a lot right now. There's some tech know-how that has to go into getting it all set up. There's a high barrier to entry that's preventing people from experiencing these things. And so I think that the technology has to progress to the point VR has to get cheap enough to the point where more people can start experiencing it before it really takes off. Is one of the problems facing it.
Come
I
on,
think that's
Oculus.
definitely the current problem is the high barrier to entry, like you said, is people either don't have enough money to buy an index, which is, dropping $1,000 for the whole setup. Most people don't have
Right.
that money lying around. And then same with the people who are trying to make these kinds of experiences. And that's why, again, why I feel like my show is successful is because there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing because there's not a lot of resources for them. And for me, like I had to scrounge the internet like crazy to try and figure out all these different VTubing programs and all this crazy stuff. But that's kind of my whole mission and stuff is I'm trying to like bring this information and share it with people. And I think like I'm really excited because like you said, it's still hard for people, but we're literally at that beginning point where things are starting to kind of roll. Like just like when like laptops started becoming like mainstream and stuff. We're seeing it coming into the hands of like every average like household. And that's just makes me excited.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to
I-
get there.
Mm-hmm.
it is so cool to see like in my friends network. I've got a Discord server that's pretty much dedicated to just like the old friends from high school.
Aw.
And because I'm still pretty close friends with like I'm pretty, I don't know, I guess uh thankful, lucky to have a group of friends
Mhm.
that goes all the way back to like kindergarten, like
Aw.
old friends. And
Aw,
there's
that's
like a
cute.
lot of them. That's like 6 different people. It's like I don't know anyone else who's got that. But it's so cool to see them like one by one picking up VR headsets.
Mm.
Like seeing all your friends get into VR, I cannot wait for the day when everyone has these things. And that's when we're really going to see some interesting VR entertainment solutions. Because right now, entertainment requires an audience. And the
Mhm.
problem with VR is that while we're getting there. I mean, there's more, apparently, the statistics show that there are now more people with VR headsets than there are 4K monitors. That's a lot of people,
That is a
right?
lot.
I'm one of
That's a
them.
great stat.
I do not have a 4K monitor.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a little tricky because the 4K word by itself can. A lot of people have not 4K, but what is it? It's like close. It's not UHD. It might be UHD. But it's basically like a version of 4K that a lot of monitors and TVs put out to like kind of pretend that they're 4K.
Mhm.
So that might be screwing with those statistics because that's actually most quote 4K TVs are actually UHD TVs. So that might be affecting things. But besides that, I think, where there's people, there will be people of interest.
Mhm.
It's super cool to see like of course we're going to be jealous here that we don't have 30K subs already. But
Hey, you'll get there. You'll get there. It's just a matter of time. It really is.
But honestly, like we do this because we love it, and it's so cool to see channels like yours that are blowing up and like really making VR like cool. Like it's not just a gimmick; it's
Mhm.
something that a lot of people should be interested in, and that's super cool to see. Really excited for where VR entertainment goes, and I
Absolutely.
mean, we're seeing with so many new programs that like clearly in terms of what can be done in VR, we're like in such an experimental phase still.
Mhm.
There's really cool stuff. VR chat, really cool. Rec Room, also really cool. But I feel like within a year there could be a new thing in VR. It's so crazy how fast things are moving.
It's so exciting.
It
I
is.
always get so giddy over it. I'm like, I wonder where we'll be in 5 years from now. I wonder what about in 20 years will we have our, full dive like nerve suits, SAO. Oh my gosh. I get carried away in the speculation, that's for sure.
Probably
I
just gonna
talked
have a
about
chip you
this.
put on your temple by then. You won't need any of that. You
Yeah.
just put
Oh,
one
there you
little
go.
Right.
chip
Get
on
the
your temple and
Neuralink, yeah.
just
Yeah,
drop.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sort of it definitely I'm profiling myself as a total nerd here by saying this, but I don't care. Definitely that Sword Art Online thing. Like, oh man, when we get to Sword Art Online levels, even close to that, like I cannot wait. I've said this before on like 5 different podcasts. Cannot wait for that VR MMO to be done right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there like
That'll
a,
be
a really
what
evil
a day.
element to that show and what happened to everybody who went into VR? I'm
You
just
know what?
asking.
They could prank everybody by pretending
whole-
that that's happening too. You know, they didn't even have to actually be evil, but they could frame it, and everybody would start like shivering. Oh my god, what's going on? I
yeah.
could see the world's biggest prank right there.
All right. as much as I want to keep talking about VR MMOs because I could go all day.
Yes, you can.
Oh god.
Shush. We got a little bit of let's see. We have 1, 2. Is that a question down there? In order to give you a really boom, Apple would have to first. No, it's more of a comment.
Does it have a question mark, Rip?
Well, like, no, it doesn't. But so first question from Slash asks, oh no, it has HP reverb. We've been avoiding HP reverb.
Oh
as
no.
it because it,
Ask it. I'm not afraid to piss some people off.
right? Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you've touched on the HP reverb yet, but be careful because the flight sim community it really is like, if you touch their baby, the HP reverb
Oh, they get
G2,
mad. They
it's
get
not even
mad.
out yet. But if you touch it, say anything negative, they will come after you with pitchforks. We have discovered that. But anyway, so he asks, when do you think Valve will release a new headset? Both seeing they're still backed up on orders and they've been helping work on the new HP headset. So I guess we can avoid the HP reverb in this discussion.
I
Probably
think it's gonna be a
while.
while. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it'll be a while.
They'll add a mod to it maybe to make it wireless, but I don't think they'll be getting a new headset because they're backed up. They still have plenty they can milk out of this one. Like, why would they all of a sudden say we need to make a new one when they haven't even fulfilled how many orders? I mean, Rip, how long have you been waiting for your index? Like,
We don't
people
talk
are
about
still waiting. People are still waiting. Why would they suddenly switch gears? Because then everybody will cancel their pre-orders.
Yeah.
In
know,
my
I kinda
personal
like the
opinion, Valve
secretly
only
thing.
works on things when they're really trying to either introduce a new tech or sell a really interesting feature. That's what they did with their games. That's what they're doing with the headset. I would give it at least 5 years before we see any new headset that's designed and made by Valve.
Touching on that, do you think Valve may not even make another one? Is that possible? They'll just keep producing
Yes,
content.
I actually think
yeah.
that's cool. Valve is an ecosystem. They're not a direct supplier. And so I think that they made the Index, which is incredible headset, in my opinion, best in the market. And, I think they might just leave it and keep building out the VR ecosystem and let individual, like other companies, build the actual hardware for it. That's my opinion.
They do that.
Fia, you were going to say something there?
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe they're pranking us all by like not shipping out the indexes because they have a whole stash of all the Index 2s they're waiting for. They're just
I would
playing a
be so
trick on
upset.
us all, you know.
I know.
I think that's wishful thinking more than anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm expecting a good while still before I get mine.
It's gonna come with Half-Life 3 installed on it too, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, dang you, Valve.
One can dream. All right. Next question. We touched on this in the beginning of the podcast, but Mason Carter asks, does Fia have full body tracking? She seems to be able to articulate very well. The answer is no, she's normal, and the rest of us have rods stuck through our bodies. We can't do anything about it.
I know
No,
this question is supposed to be complimentary to Fia, but all I got from that question is like, man, the rest of you look like crap, right?
That's being sensitive. I took no offense.
So
full
Fia
body
is
tracking.
in full body tracking. You wanna tell them a little bit about that? What does that mean? Full body tracking. How do you do it?
Yeah, so basically, the way that it works is that you have these sensors, and I'm falling again. See if they work some of the time. But you have these sensors that you attach to your feet. So I have one on each of my feet, and then I have one that I strap to my waist, and then I have my two base stations that came with my Valve Index, and I have one over in like this corner of my room, and then one in the opposite direction in that corner of the room. And then they basically both are able to track the position of my sensors that connect to my body. And then that way it relays that information back into VR so that it looks like I'm actually fully controlling it. There's other applications where you can actually get more than 3 sensors, but for VR chat you're only stuck with the 3.
Mhm.
But I'd hope that one day I want to get like my elbows done and my knees done, but that's they're like $100 per puck is what they call them, so it's definitely a hefty expense there.
If you
Right.
want to go cheap, you can get an Xbox Connect, and it's not going to be as articulate, but it can do full body.
Those
What
are
is it?
pretty good for the waist, is what I've seen. Is a lot of people have a lot
Mm.
of trouble with the feet tracking, but as far as like kind of like the hips and being able to kind of like more bend around, that the Connect seems to work a lot better for that.
What is your routine when you take it all off? How do you charge all this? Do you have like a hub of just USB cords everywhere? Because
Yeah,
that's
I
what,
have
5
so many
things?
USBs. I have so many USBs. It's terrible. But yeah, so I have these like USB cords. I have 3 of them, one for each puck, and I plug that into my computer. And so they attach directly to the pucks. I take it off my waist, off my feet, and plug it into my computer, and that's how it charges. And then when I take it out to like put it on my body, I have these little like connectors that are what take the feedback for the information and exchange it from the base stations and the trackers back to the computer. And so I have to plug those in. It gets a little finicky sometimes, I will admit, especially if I restart Steam VR. Sometimes they'll just go black and then I have to replug it in, hold down the button for like 30 seconds, make sure it works. Oh, it's not working. Now I got to
Oh,
replug it into a
geez.
different one. It can be a pain in the butt, but it is so worth it. I can't even describe the feeling of having legs is you have never been more thankful for legs in your life until you have full body tracking. I will say it.
Well, and I imagine the waist one is on a belt. You keep saying feet. Are you wearing like, are they on your ankles or are they actually strapped like to a sock kind of apparatus? How do the feet one attach?
Yeah. So I have it's like a strap with a velcro, and so I have this
Mm.
part on my foot where it like screws around. So I screw the tracker onto the top of the strap, and then I strap it around my foot, and then it velcros back to the top. And so I just wear socks with it. I know some people wear shoes. I've done it barefoot, a little itchy, but not terrible.
Oh,
And then there's other like ways to do it. I know people like like have ways to like connect them to their tennis shoes and things. But
Interesting.
yeah, tons of different ways, but the most basic way is to just strap them on there.
mhm. Super cool. For those that are listening in, I will just tell you verbally, it's like it is pretty night and day. What us compared to FIA here. I mean, it's super cool. This is making me jealous. Not
I
gonna
know.
lie.
That's how I
Yeah.
felt. I got it from peer pressure. I was like, oh, I want to be one of those people. And it
um,
works. It works. The peer pressure works, and I have no regrets.
stop it. I don't have the money
I'm
right now.
just saying, once you can, you should.
All right, all right. So, though, quick little note: if you're like, "Oh, I can get full body tracking in VR," that's like application specific, dear listeners. It's not like every game will suddenly track your feet.
No, no, no.
All right. And with that, we do have to wrap things up. I see some of you have brought in a couple extra questions. Unfortunately, that'll have to go until overtime. But in terms of the podcast itself, those of you listening in, watching our clips, this marks the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening. We had Fia here, who was an exceptional guest. Fia,
Oh,
how
thank
can
you.
they find you?
Yeah, so I am the virtual reality show, all one word on YouTube. Very bright rainbow colors with my face plastered all over everything, so
She's
you won't
super
miss it.
findable.
Very, very findable. On Twitch, it's Fia Bunny, one word. Instagram, Fia Bunny, one word, and then Twitter is Fia_Bunny. So that's the only
Ah,
real exception
Mm.
there. So,
someone stole it.
um,
Dang it.
I know, exactly. But I
Hate
stream
that.
3 times a week on Twitch, so you can catch me there live, or I do a new video every single Monday on YouTube. So that's how you can find me.
Yeah, check her out, guys. Super cool, really cool channel. It's like in terms of the YouTube channels I've seen, especially for VR. It's because it's so new and coming. It's cool to see some, you know, as someone who is a producer myself and an editor, I like to see YouTube channels that are well made, and
Mm.
hers strikes me as one of the ones that's well made, which
Aw,
I'm always a fan
that
of.
means a lot, really. I feel like a total noob sometimes. I watch my videos, I'm like, oh, this is so bad. I should have done this and this and that. So it
Oh,
means a
don't
lot to
worry.
get those
It'll
get
oh
those
wait,
kind of
that feel
compliments.
you will be the biggest VR YouTuber, and that feeling will not go away.
Yep, I'm convinced. There's always the second person in the brain that's like, nope,
Yep.
nope.
So check her out, guys. Check us out too. For those of you that are just watching us on YouTube, you've never seen us before. We've got first off the Discord server. A lot of stuff happens there besides just us hanging out. We're always in Discord. We're always answering questions. Our Discord server is not yet so populated that we can't talk to our community, and it's super cool. And we're going to take advantage of that for as long as we can. So lots of interesting discussions there. Come check us out. If you wanted to get some Q&A, that was at the first section of the podcast. That's from the Discord server. Join the Discord server, put some questions into our Q&A section, and we will get to you. Well, we try to get to you. Sometimes we miss one. And then we've got the Patreon. Again, if you wanted to hear about that Swords of Gura tournament on time, we record Wednesday and the podcast goes Friday. And you know what? Some news, it's only relevant that those first 2 days, I guess, in our favor, because it makes us try to get you to get on our Patreon. That's $5 a month. And 1, you get bumped up in terms of Q&A questions. 2, you get early versions of the podcast that are stereo. And trust me, the intro and outro songs sound beautiful in stereo. And we'll try to add more stuff down the road. But in general, those are like our 2 biggest things, short of just you're supporting us, which is always fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you are watching, consider listening if you are road tripping at these weird times. And if you are listening, perhaps consider checking out the YouTube channel and again seeing us. We got some cool stuff. And that is all.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Fia.
See you next podcast.